On your computer, on your Wi-Fi radio, on your iPhone. Commercial-free, original talk. Only on LA Talk Radio, your favorite talk station.
This is Maddie Rempe from Cleveland, Ohio. And you're listening to Barbecue Central.
In a world permeated with barbecue websites under the control of tyrannical administrators, there was one man, a one-man army. He broke all the rules. He allowed his members to speak out, give their opinions, and make the website what it is today. Get ready for Greg Rempe and the Barbecue Central Show.
Live from Cleveland, Ohio, it's the Barbecue Central Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Barbecue Central Radio Networks and LA Talk Radio proudly presents the Barbecue Central Show. What's up, everybody? Welcome to your Tuesday evening, your live fire outdoor cooking and grilling and barbecuing show, everything that has to do with live fire. We talk about it here on the Barbecue Central Show. A very jam-packed show. A lot to get through here in the open in the next 6 minutes. Plus, we got two great guests lined up for you. So, if you're so inclined to jump in the show tonight, you can do that at these two paths of communication. First, of course, is the phone number, 216-220-0966. Or you can email bbqcentralradio@gmail.com. You'll notice from the background noise that I am once again live on location at beautiful Mixed Pub and Grill here in Willoughby, Ohio. Always great to get out, do the Barbecue Central Show live in front of an audience, in front of a crowd. So thanks to Kevin and the boys for doing that. This last time here at this location. So Mixed Pub and Grill, always some great food here. Great libations and a great place to watch, of course, the Cavs game tonight, which has my interest more or less taken over at this point. So if I seem preoccupied during the show, I'm going to try my best to partition that off and be all about the barbecue and the grilling tonight. But Cavs on a pivotal game tonight against the Orlando Magic. Pretty much if they lose this one, it will more or less mean curtains for the Cavs and continuing the terrible sports history that has plagued this great city of ours for any number of not only years but decades. So that's what's happening. Here's who I have on the show tonight. Next segment, I'll be joined, and I'm getting outside of the box here on this, but I can tie it back into barbecue. So as I always ask when I do these types of things, just hang with me. A guy by the name of Joe Blumenstein. He is the president of Joe Bees, as in the things that sting you. Bees, B-E-E-S. He's free-range bee pollen as a supplement. And I thought it would be interesting to have him on. I hear about it here locally on some sports talk shows. A lot of guys talk about it, so I figured why not go to the source, see what it's all about, see if that might actually help our competition barbecuers out in a few things. So that's Joe Blumenstein coming up next segment. Third segment, Derek Riches from About.com makes his monthly appearance to talk about some cool stuff in the barbecue and grilling world, as he is the reviewer for About.com. So that'll be third segment. Fourth segment, Free For All, sponsored once again by Naked Pig Barbecue. So if you're listening, you call in at the right time, you can get your hands on some free barbecue rub from Naked Pig. That's nakedpigbbq.com. Quickly review the Kansas City Barbecue Society standings here after this weekend's close of competition. Of course, QOW number one still. However, it has never been a closer race than it is after the close of this past weekend, where Lotta Bull is now only 9 points off the overall lead in Kansas City. Then we have Munchin' Hogs at the Hilton. Number 4 is Florida Skin and Bones. Number 5, Wild Bunch Butt Burners. Number 6, Four Legs Up Barbecue. Number 7, Four Men and a Pig. Number 8, LearnToQ.com. Number 9, Butcher Barbecue. And number 10, KC Ken Crew. So 1 and 2 vying for righteous contention of the number one spot here, Kansas City Barbecue Society. 9 points separating them. That's more of a race. QL still reigning supreme, though. Now we're almost into June. Wanted to remind you again about this cool contest that's going on over at shesmoke.com/contest, where you basically want to have a barbecue party and videotape it, and then go ahead and within that 1 to 3 minute video, tell what smoking or grilling means to you. Upload your video to YouTube in response to the trailer video that Julie Reinhardt has put up. Again, that's at shesmoke.com/contest. And then for every for every entry that's donated, $1 will go to Heifer International, trying to stomp out this hunger issue that we have across the world. Everything needs to be in by July 5th. Winners will be announced, by July 5th. Everything needs to be in by June 15th, so just a few more weeks for that. And then, again, we have the Traeger Junior Grill currently is one of the huge prizes to win on that. shesmoke.com/contest for more information and to take part in that. Hey, I was looking around the internet, and of course, you can follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/BBQ Central, and I have a lot of unique people that I follow, and somebody had posted or updated their status with, if you're in business, especially maybe more in the barbecue and grilling industry or the meat food industry, and you want a unique item to get out in regards to business cards, you want to go to meatcards.com and check out the prototypes here. From what I can gather looking at the pictures, tantamount to having your business card on beef jerky in square cards, beef jerky. So I thought that was kind of neat. You can check that out at meatcards.com. Also, again, I'd mentioned this last week. If you want to get in on the newsletter that I send out every week for what's happening on the show, bbq-4-letter-u.com/letter. And by the way, jumping around a little bit, lots and lots of food porno on the Barbecue Central General Barbecue section. And that can be found at thebbqcentral.com. Click on the barbecue forum button and then go into General Barbecue. Lots of pictures of what happened over Memorial Day weekend. And thanks to the troops for service, for those that have served and for those that are currently serving. Hopefully all of you remember what that's all about. And don't let that go by without giving thanks and realizing what they're doing on a daily basis for us to have these freedoms out here in the good old United States. But I did beef chuck ribs, and if you get your hands on these things, you'll know it's the right thing because they're just huge and a good change of pace from the pork ribs. Nice kind of briskety, beefy type flavor. So if you can get your hands on beef chuck ribs, go to the forum. Check out my thread. I have lots of pictures that I took from beginning to end, and these things are, as my brother put it, the porterhouse of ribs. Lots of meat, maybe 2, 3. I dare you to eat a half rack by yourself without throwing up. All right, when we come back, Joe Blumenstein from JoeBees.com. That's JoeBees.com to talk about free-range bee pollen and how it might help you in your competition and daily life in general. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Stand by. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show on LA Talk Radio.
The future of barbecue is already here at thebarbecueguru.com. From the amazing guru that monitors and controls the temperatures of any charcoal, wood, or electric pit to the Caldera Tallboy knockdown smoker. Yes, it breaks down and stores flat, yet it's still a robust, sturdy, portable cooker and smokehouse. It also serves as an efficient temperature-controlled convection oven using wood or charcoal. The Tallboy is designed to fit all catering pans and can be used as a warming oven. You can cook in any style you choose. Make ribs, chicken, jerky, vegetables, smoked cheese, whatever you want. Take it to KCBS competitions and unload it from the trunk of your car. TheBarbecueGuru.com is where you'll find the Caldera 3-Bay Caterer. It's stainless steel and uses charcoal or sterno for chafing purposes. And it doubles as a 3-bay sink or wash station with hot water and knocks down in seconds with no tools required for transportation and storage. The future of barbecue is here at thebarbecueguru.com. That's www.thebbqguru.com or call 1-800-288-GURU.
Forget going from site to site to get all your barbecue and grilling supplies and make your first and final stop at Fred's Music
and barbecue.com. In the market for a new barbecue pit? We have all the big name brands like Big Green Egg and more. As a matter of fact, Fred's is staffed by eggheads and carries all the parts and accessories for the Big Green Egg. More of a pellet head, you say? Fred's is the Pellet Grill Superstore with grills in stock from Traeger, Green Mountain, and Country Smokers from Louisiana Grills. Fred also carries smokers from Cook Shack, Bradley, and Weber as well as a full lineup of charcoal grills. And once you're outfitted with your new smoker or grill, you'll find absolutely everything you need to make your barbecue or grilling experience a success. Fred is also the creator and distributor of Tasty Licks barbecue products, including their great line of rubs, spices, and sauces. You gotta try them. You can also get your hands on a full lineup of marinades, accessories, lump charcoal, wood chips, pellets, chunks, and even the great grilling tools from Stephen Reichland of Barbecue U fame. Check Fred out on the web at fredsmusicandbbq.com or check out their fully stocked showroom in beautiful Shillington, PA. Now, let's get back to the Barbecue Central Show on LA Talk Radio.
Welcome back to the Barbecue Central Show, back and better than ever, right here on LA Talk Radio. This segment of the show brought to you by D-Dog's Barbecue Rub. Do you make bad barbecue? Come on, admit it. Your barbecue doesn't taste as good as you want it to, and making great barbecue is easy with D-Dog's Barbecue Rub and Sauces. With all natural ingredients, D-Dog's barbecue products will make your barbecue taste great and have all your friends and family begging for more. Order some today at ddogsbbq.com. Also coming, I believe, in June or July, the Peach Rub that Darren has been talking about for these many months, and what some think years. It's ddogsbbq.com. Check them out there for updates. It's D-Dog's Barbecue Rub. All right, once again, back at Mick's Pub and Grill here in the heart of the historic, beautiful downtown Willoughby. Thanks to Kevin and the boys for letting me hang out here tonight. And joining me now, as promised, the guy that really created a unique product that I have been hearing quite a bit about here on my local sports show that I listen to, the Really Big Show, hosted by Tony Rizzo. Interesting product, and I kind of found this guy on Twitter. His name is Joe Blumenstein, but we'll call him Joe B. Joe, welcome to the Barbecue Central Show. How are you this evening? Joe? Joe? All right, hold on one second. Yeah, it's not good. Joe. All right, stand by, people. Joe? Joe. All right. Hold on one second here. Joe.
Hello? Hello?
Joe.
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
All right, we did it.
My Twitter brother.
Oh, my God, Joe, I can't believe what. Were you hearing me on the other end?
I heard you. Well, I'm all the way down here in South Florida, but I heard you perfectly.
Well,
well, there's always going to be a technical glitch or two, but not on Twitter, of course, right?
No, Twitter, although retention rate seems to be deplorable from a lot of reports that I've been reading recently, it never fails to get the message out.
Does not hurt to get the message out, sir. Well, I'm truly honored to be on this program, and I understand I'm in Willoughby with you.
Yeah, actually, I'm doing a show live remote here at an Irish Pub and Grill here in the beautiful historic downtown Willoughby. As you can hear kind of the crowd in the background watching the Cavs game. So hopefully they win and you don't hear a bunch of gunshots go off at halftime.
No. I'm always rooting for the Cavs. Big Cavs fan.
That's right. So I wanted to have you on the show tonight, and sometimes I like to push outside of the box here and maybe go a little bit above and beyond the traditional barbecue and grilling lore, as we had kind of stated. I've been hearing about your product on the Really Big Show with Tony Rizzo, and then somebody had forwarded me your Twitter account, started following you, and then I said, hey, you know what? Nothing better than going right to the source to see what this is all about. So kind of give us your a little bit of background about yourself and how Joe B's kind of came to be.
Well, I'm a 53-year-old male who still likes to work out, and I'm a runner, and I'm a writer, and I like to go to the gym and do the spin classes, and I've stuck with that pretty much for about the last 35 years. And I discovered a product a few years back, which is a bee pollen. And I started taking it, and I've taken vitamins and supplements now for about the last 25 years. But I started taking this product, and I can't tell you the new energy that I found, and the stamina, and it's just amazing. So as a result, I decided that I wanted to find the best bee pollen in the world. That's just my kind of like my character, is that if I get into something, I really get into it. And I literally searched the world over for about a year's time until I found a product which actually I've trademarked now, and it's a free-range bee pollen. See, bees are actually, they're put on semis. The hives are moved from farm to farm, from crop to crop, to pollinate the crops. And it puts a lot of stress on the bees, believe it or not. Bees are, without them, I'm sure that you've learned about the whole bee controversy, and without them, we'd be in big trouble.
Right.
But the bottom line is that our bees, I ended up in northern British Columbia in the woods, way about 800 miles from Alaska, one of the most pristine environments on Earth. And the bees in that area actually free range, which means they stay in that area with our beekeeper. And as a result, the pollen is some of the purest, some of the best. The pollen is only as good as the forest which the bees are able to forage. And what they do is they take the male seeds of the plant as they pollinate the plants, and they bring these seeds back with their own secretions. They're in the hive, and this is their food. And this food contains vitamins and minerals and proteins and keratins, amino acids, and it's like nothing that man can possibly produce. So the beekeeper gathers that pollen at the hive, and all we do is we encapsulate it. And the bottom line to all of this is that it's great health, and it makes you feel good. And I'm no expert in all this. I only know how I feel. And it's all of this started out, I just want to tell you, as a business. And I discovered then my friends and family tried to push me into this, take this and distribute this wonderful stuff to people. And, it's been around for thousands of years. It's not like I discovered something new. But they said, take it to folks who need energy. And what's happened is it's no longer a business, because I discovered that I'm actually helping people with the product. And the thing has grown like crazy. And, of course, in your neck of the woods in Northeast Ohio is a great Joe B's area. And folks are telling folks, and, of course, they hear it there on the radio and everything else. But the bottom line to all this is that folks are actually helping other people. And there's no greater feeling in the world than helping somebody else. And this is all we're trying to do, is help people. In fact, I've written a book which can be downloaded at the website at joebs.com, which is completely free. We don't ask for any of those opt-ins or anything else. You're more than welcome just to take it and read it. And it talks all about fitness and vitality and being able to get up and get up off your behind and do something. And that's really what all this is all about. So I hope I didn't bore you with my whole story, because I was really interested in the barbecue tonight.
Yeah, well, and this is Joe Blumenstein, Joe B from joebs.com. That's Joe, BEES.com. JoeBees.com, as in bees, as we're talking about.
Thank you, Greg. I appreciate that.
But one other item that I found kind of inspiring through your history is you actually did suffer quite a substantial injury, which I don't know if it was more or less a precipitous event that led you into the bee pollen event, or if it's just kind of hand in hand. But I mean, you were an active person that really sustained quite an injury. Why don't you tell us about it?
I had a horrible water ski accident, correct, and in my vertebrae, the discs 6 and 7 literally exploded and were wrapped around my spinal cord. And this kind of did derail my life. It's funny that you even mention it, because I've tried to put it out of my mind. It was a derailment, and I really lost all of my strength and my energy. And I've been a runner since 1976. My good friend Chris McMartin in Atlanta, Georgia, got me started running then, and I've stuck with it on and off. But that was a very difficult year. But yes, that incident completely derailed my life and made me think about a lot of things and reanalyze. And then luckily I discovered a similar product, although I decided that I wanted to have the absolute very, very best bee pollen that there was in the whole world. So that's Joe Bees free-range bee pollen. And again, it's a natural, it's made by nature, it contains all the vitamins, the minerals, everything that you need to sustain every cell in your body. What it does is it nourishes the metabolism, and it makes your system work more efficiently. Hence, you get a better night's sleep. You have more energy. You don't get sick as often. When you do, you're not quite as run down. It really is just great nutrition. It's been known as nature's perfect food for forever. The ancient Greeks called it ambrosia. It's just a fantastic product that I didn't invent. All I did was I sourced the very best in the world, and we love it, and we've tried to spread the word the very best way. We're on sports radio all over America. We're a small company now, but we're putting together a television spot that we'll start working on. But the key thing, I think, with Twitter and all of it, again, and the most beautiful part of it, is that I've had this opportunity to help folks. And I had no idea what it felt like. And I'll just tell everybody in the listening audience that there's no greater happiness than helping somebody else. If you can ever help somebody else get something, believe me, you'll get what you want.
Joe B from JoeBees.com. Now, let's just make sure that we're reaffirming this, because a lot of things have been out on the market here in the past 5 or 10 years.
Sure.
Things are out without any type of FDA approval. We don't know what's going to happen. All of a sudden, things are as quickly as they were on the shelf, they're rifled back off because they're causing health symptoms. Nothing in Joe Bees is unnatural or is going to make you super hyped up like you just shot a heroin with a speedball combination of cocaine and elixir. So it's
very good point. All it is a feeling of well-being, and yes, FDA does not regulate dietary supplements, so there's been no proof of anything. That's the whole thing, and that's the greatest argument. But folks take brand name multivitamins. If you ever read the label and you see what's in there, the dyes, the starches, the sugars, make sure whatever you take is natural, 100% natural. You don't want to put these things into your body and think that you're actually helping yourself. And yes, you do get nutrients through the foods that you eat. But I'll tell you something, the bee pollen really makes that metabolism work nice and efficiently, and it just is a very good feeling all over. There's no speediness or anything else like that. But if you'll go to my website, which is, if you don't mind, Greg, if I could give myself a plug,
Go
I
ahead.
appreciate
Do
that.
it.
It's Joe Bees, JoeBees.com. You can download my book there for free. You can read about Joe Bees, and hopefully you'll purchase some and you'll feel great as I do.
Now, I'm going to try and tie this into barbecue. Watch this.
Great.
I don't know how up you are as far as, all the subculture and underlings that happen here in the barbecue and grilling community, but there's obviously a very competitive side to barbecue, which I'm not sure if you're... Okay, so...
I've seen Al Roker now. I've seen them, they've done all kinds of specials at these competitions. I know they're very serious.
Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about. So they'll get there on a Friday, and they spend, they're up all Friday night. They're in Saturday, and, turn-ins start at 10 or 11 o'clock, and, they're really balls to the wall until noon, 1 o'clock. So they've put in a good 24, almost 30 hours of work when it's all said and done, not to mention all the other peripheral stuff.
Right.
would you? Is it too much of a jump or unrealistic for me to think that if a team were to take on Joby's as a supplement, that they actually might be a little bit more sharper than the other teams that might not be supplementing with it?
I will absolutely say that they would be, but please remember, it takes a good 3 or 4 weeks to really get your system assimilated to all these nutrients. So it's not you're going to take. We recommend you take 2 each and every morning before food. So you can't take 2 and then expect that it's going to just happen. Again, there's no drugs. This is 100% natural. It's got to get into your system. But I would safely say, Greg, after 3, 4, 5 weeks of the team taking it, absolutely put them up against any other team. I agree with you.
Because one of the things that I'm hearing a lot on the competition circuit, guys are always, and gals, are always trying to find ways to get that extra amount of sleep or that extra edge when it comes to not just the staying up through the night part, but the real crunch time when you're pulling the chicken and you're pulling the pork ribs and the beef and the brisket off and the pork shoulder off to meet those turn-in times. You got to be sharp because you don't want to ruin the turn-in box after you spent all that time getting the food right where you want it to be. So you want to be sharp, and this could be a decent edge.
Oh, absolutely. And if you have a favorite team or if you have a sponsored team at Barbecue Central there, I'll be happy to supply them with product. How about that?
Well, unfortunately,
well, let's put together a team.
Yeah, let's do the North and South team, Joe. There's lots of competitions in between here and there. That's no doubt about it. So,
oh, I'm sure, but no, I agree with you. I think that one of the greatest attributes of Joby's is a good night's sleep, and I'm told that by a lot of folks that have been not able to sleep well, insomniacs, whatever. Instead of taking sleeping pills or medications, and you have this in your, you have this good nutrition in your system, you'll be surprised. You really get a beautiful night's sleep. Any sleep that you get is very, very good sleep.
That's right. Joe, any specials that are running right now on Joby's website you want to tell listeners about?
Appreciate that. $99 gets you a 6-month supply with a 7th month absolutely free and free freight. $99. We also have a toll-free number, which is 877-300-5632, 877-300-5632, 24/7, and the lines are manned. $99 gets you a 6-month supply with the 7th month free.
And free shipping.
Free shipping.
That's the way to do it right there. So that's
free shipping, and you will love it. You will absolutely love the product. You will love it. It gives you a nice feeling of you have good health. You know you're getting the proper nutrition, and you'll have new extra energy. It's beautiful for the all-nighters. Perfect.
I can only imagine the email that's going to be streaming in from the competition teams that listen to the show or download it later after live air that there's going to be like, I want to be the team that's sponsored by the Joby's.
Well, you know what? I'm thinking maybe we should do some barter work. Maybe you and I need to sit down at the table and we'll have them bring us some of the cooked the rewards there. Bring them over.
There you go. We'll work on that for sure, Joe. Joe, this is Joe Blumenstein. Jobees.com. It's Joe and then Bees, BEES.com. 877-300-5632 are the numbers you want to get to, and then of course the web address to visit as well to place your orders. Joe, appreciate you coming on tonight, sharing your story and the product. I'm looking forward to trying it myself, and we'll see what we can do on the backside of things.
Everybody follow Barbecue Central on Twitter now, okay? Make sure everybody follows, all right? You want to follow Greg. Greg, thank you so much.
All right,
it's a
Joe.
pleasure. We love Northeast Ohio. We love America. Thank you so much.
All right,
we appreciate it.
We'll look for you up here in July, too, all right?
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it.
All right,
Thank
take
you.
care, Joe.
Thank you.
Joe Blumenstein, Jobees.com. I'm late. Derek is waiting. That's all right. Derek likes to wait because we're going to be talking about some great barbecue stuff here. I know, again, outside the box, but you heard the man. He's not averse to sponsoring teams. Maybe we can work out a little barter deal. Joe Bees, BEES.com. Read up for yourself. I'm not going to push you into anything that, what can I tell you? And then, again, that number, 877-300-5632. 6 months free for $99. I'm sorry, 6 months for $99. 7 month free and free shipping. Can't go wrong. Try it. JoeBees.com. When we come back, Derek Riches from About.com. We're here at Mick's Tavern, the Irish Pub and Grill in historic Willoughby, Ohio. Stand by. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show.
Forget going from site to site to get all your barbecue and grilling supplies and make your first and final stop at fredsmusicandbarbecue.com. In the market for a new barbecue pit, we have all the big name brands like Big Green Egg and more. As a matter of fact, Fred's is staffed by eggheads and carries all the parts and accessories for the Big Green Egg. More of a pellet head, you say? Fred's is the pellet grill superstore with grills in stock from Traeger, Green Mountain, and Country Smokers from Louisiana Grills. Fred also carries smokers from Cook Shack, Bradley, and Weber as well as a full lineup of charcoal grills. And once you're outfitted with your new smoker or grill, you'll find absolutely everything you need to make your barbecue or grilling experience a success. Fred is also the creator and distributor of Tasty Licks barbecue products, including their great line of rubs, spices, and sauces. You gotta try them. You can also get your hands on a full lineup of marinades, accessories, lump charcoal, wood chips, pellets, chunks, and even the great grilling tools from Stephen Reichland of Barbecue U fame. Check Fred out on the web at fredsmusicandbbq.com or check out their fully stocked showroom in beautiful Shillington, PA.
Barbecue has never been easier with the Barbecue Guru. The Barbecue Guru is a temperature control and monitor for all pits, charcoal, wood, electric, your pit. It easily attaches to any smoker or pit and gives you simple, trouble-free control of your temperatures so you can make championship quality barbecue every time and all the time. And it's location-free. Take it anywhere. This amazing breakthrough in barbecue technology is a microprocessor-controlled draft system that uses temperature monitors and a small fan to keep your temperatures constant. The stainless steel Guru Pit Minder gives you a choice of controls from 90 to 370 degrees. So cold smoking, pepper drying, making cheese or jerky, or fabulous briskets and ribs is nothing short of effortless. The Procom 4 lets you monitor your pit from up to 600 feet away. And there's more. Check out the full line of products and accessories for the future of barbecue with new items on the way. Visit thebarbecueguru.com. That's www.thebbqguru.com or call 1-800-288-GURU.
Now, let's get back to the Barbecue Central Show on LA Talk Radio.
Barbecue Central Show back and better than ever thanks to Joe Blumenstein from JoeBees.com for last segment. This portion of the show brought to you by the Barbecue Guru, makers of the CyberQ, the DigiQ2, the Procom 4 wireless unit, not to mention a whole host of other items to make your barbecue and grilling life easier, like the Holy Smoke meat mats, the Caldera smokers, the Caldera caterers, both the 1 and 3 bay systems. 800-288-GURU is the number to call, or visit them on the web at thebbqguru.com. All right, as promised, joining me now, as I ran a little bit late over, but we'll make sure we have time for my next guest. He is the reviewer for all things barbecue and grilling for About.com, making his monthly appearance, Derek Riches. Derek, thanks for coming on tonight. How are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Greg?
Yeah, good. Thanks for coming back on tonight. Are you ready to get your dose of Joe Bees?
Definitely.
All right, so obviously... Let's start by covering an item that we talked probably 2 shows ago. I guess it was our first show that we did here, or your first segment installment, when we had talked initially after you had got back from the Hearth Patio and Barbecue Expo, and we had talked about that neat little up-and-comer called the Bubba Keg. And you got one. I actually got my hands on one as well, and I've been toying around with it probably for the last 5 weeks or so, 6 weeks or so. I know you've done a breakdown of it. So first, go ahead and kind of give us your review of the item itself, and then we can kind of trade pot shots back and forth.
Well, what I like about it, is that, it's a completely self-contained unit. With most of the Komodo-style cookers, you have to buy a lot of accessories if you really want to deck it out. This comes with everything. It's the side tables. You've got, the cart mounting for it, plus the trailer hitch mounting so you can take it on the road. You've got the extra cooking grate on it. So, it's literally like somebody who had been using like a Big Green Egg or a Primo and coming back and saying, yeah, we could put all this extra stuff on there and really deck it out and give it a lot of feature to it. So from that standpoint, it's great. The new price now that they've cut it down about $600 really makes it very competitive with Big Green Egg and the others, which sell for about $200 more for a similar sized base unit. On the flip side of it, and the question I had kind of from the very beginning, they'll talk about the ceramic cookers being more fragile, being harder to move. But, as long as you take care of it, you don't move it around, it'll probably last 20, 30 years. You might have to replace some of the metal parts, but that ceramic shell is built really well, and it's extremely durable. You start going to a metal, and, now you got a question about how durable is that going to be. And so, I've noticed a couple of issues with it that, I think are room for improvement. The first thing that stands out is that top vent piece leaks water. If you leave it out in the rain.
Closed,
water,
you mean?
Closed.
Okay.
I mean, if it's completely, if you're done cooking, you've closed it up, you set it out there, and it rains on it, or the sprinklers come on or whatever, water will go through that. So, one thing to keep in mind is you might want to keep it out of the elements or keep it away from falling water.
All right, so here's a crazy idea, and this is the first thing I noticed after I got it all unpacked, and I had a packaging issue myself, but that, it was no big deal after I had talked to Drew Keenan and their service guy about how to get the fire bowl that had kind of worked itself loose and had dumped off the lips on the underneath it. So
I had that same problem.
Had to metal spatula it up, and I didn't want to do that at first because I didn't want to break any of the porcelain off. But they said just go ahead. So that was kind of one item that I had. It just seemed like they tried to pack too much stuff in the cooker to ship it, which I was told they've kind of gotten away from that, and they've got a new packaging system involved. But the one thing that I noticed from all the stuff they gave you, the side tables, the carts, the trailer hitch, all that great stuff, no cover.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you have a Big Green Egg, you probably never thought of even putting a cover on it. These style cookers, you don't cover because there's no need to. Typically, moisture really can't get inside of it. But with this one, it can. And so, some sort of cover on it or, some way of closing that vent so that moisture can't get inside of it. And that kind of leads to really the second issue with this is you have this baked enamel surface in here on this basically sheet metal, and then you have two pieces of cast iron, the cold grate that goes on the bottom and then your cooking grate that goes on top.
Right.
Well, cast iron is extremely abrasive. And, just in the inspection that I did of it, after having cooked with it for quite a while and moved it around and played with it and done all sorts of stuff with it, that bottom cold grate has worn through that, that enamel surface. And I actually have rust spots in the fire bowl where it connects. And also at the top where the cooking grate, if it moves around, and if you put it on your trailer hitch, the way it is, and drive off with it, that's going to be a lot of vibration.
Right.
So it will wear through that porcelain coating, and that's going to leave bare metal, which is going to cause corrosion problems. Now, the gauge is pretty heavy, so I don't think that this is a problem you're going to have right off. But if you have one, I really would recommend keeping an eye on that, making sure that you stay on top of that as a maintenance issue.
Yeah, I actually went out and bought just a $10 kettle grill cover at the local 5 and Dime hardware store. I've never once thought ever to leave any grills that I have, which are now numbering probably in the numbers of 7 or 8, uncovered ever. And I do have an offset, steel fire pit from, not fire pit, but a barbecue pit from Close, 42-inch. He says, you don't need to cover that. I can't possibly think that I would invest any kind of money in a decent grill, which I think most of my grills are decent, and smokers, that I would just leave them out into the elements. So I never actually thought about leaving the Bubba Keg out in the elements and have the rain or me kind of see that rain getting in there. That really would have perturbed me because I personally am not a fan of cast iron anything in its raw state.
Right.
And the first thing I thought was, man, this cast iron grate is raw. I'm going to season it, and as soon as some wet weather, some humid weather comes in, this thing is going to rust quicker than anything I've ever seen. Now, luckily, that really hasn't been the case because I've kept on top of it. After the cook, when it starts to heat down, I spray some PAM on the cooking grates and then on the top. But it's almost like it's extra maintenance. I don't know if a porcelain-coated cast iron cooking grate might actually be a better option at that point.
Well, it might be, particularly if you did a heavy, a dipped and baked cast iron so that you actually had a smooth surface. I consider you've got a cast iron cooking grate, you're going to have to maintain that no matter what.
Right.
And, so that's something to assume. If somebody comes back and says, well, my cooking grate rusted out, and I'm like, well, did you oil it? Did you take care of it like cast iron needs to be taken care of? You're just going to buy a replacement. And the one that you really got to watch out for is that coal grate, because you can't season that.
Right.
Just firing this thing up, I check that, and it reaches about 1,000 degrees. No oil will stay there.
Probably not.
That's just the way it works.
Yeah,
and,
no doubt.
That's an intense heat.
Yeah, that could be just, one of those things you're going to have to replace every so often.
Well, and you have to do that if you have one of the other styles, a Primo or a Big Green Egg or any of the other ceramics. Typically, depending upon where you live and how you use it, you're going to be replacing that every 5 to 10 years, and that's just kind of part of the maintenance of it.
And now, just to kind of close this subject, for my opinion, this has got to be. I've almost disassociated myself from the 22.5-inch one-touch gold at this point because it fires up quicker. This thing can get rocket hot with everything wide open. Great for searing, for steaks. The only thing that I really haven't been able to do, and to be honest, I haven't really dicked around with it intently, is the 225 to 250 consistent temperature. Have you been able to achieve that for any length of time, or have you really bothered with that?
Yeah, I have, and it did take a while because, I was kind of used to the idea of you fire it up, you get it hot, and then you close it down, and you bring that temperature down.
Yeah.
Well, you can close the vents completely on this, and it'll stay at about 300 degrees an hour later when the fire's out.
Right.
Because it's so insulated and it holds in that heat so well. To really hit low temperatures, you've got to start with a pretty small amount of charcoal, and you've got to get right on top of it from the very beginning. Once you get the charcoal actually just started to burn, you need to start closing down the vents and controlling it that way. You can't let it get too hot, or you're not going to be able to get the temperature back down.
All right, so on a scale from 1 to 10, including price, everything that comes with it, functionability, all encompassing, what do you rate this out of a point scale of 10?
Well, I'd give it about a 9. Unless there's a serious issue crops up in the future with the body itself rusting. It's a great unit. Particularly if you're into high temperature cooking. Because you're right. You're ready in about 10 minutes. You're cooking at intense temperatures, and you've got a lot of cooking surface with it.
Yeah, and the other thing that I really like about it is, since you're doing it, well, if you're following the rules, you're doing it with lump charcoal. And I could get on a whole nother rant about the piece of crap charcoal bag that I bought the other day. That from one brand to the next, I'm seeing 175 to almost 200 degrees temperature difference between the crappy bag that I have now. I'm not gonna, no names please, but it's Cowboy. And then I was using Humphrey's lump prior, which got me almost into the 800 degree range. So charcoal differences aside, once you're done, you shut the vents top and bottom, and you have a decent amount of. You could probably get away with another cook and a half before you have to bother refueling this thing. So that is a added key benefit for me. I give it a 9 too as well.
Yeah, definitely, because you can shut it down and put that fire out completely, unless of course it rains on it.
Yes, but we all cook under cover, so that really wouldn't.
Well, yeah, there's that, but it will ruin your charcoal if rain falls on it. That is, I like the vent design. I just wish water wouldn't run through it.
Yeah, that's it's never a good thing, water inside of a cooker. So we both agreed 9 for the quality price ratio. This thing is unbeatable for $600 with all you get and how it performs. So we'll kind of continue our comparison notes as we go on here, throughout the next number of months and over the course of the year. So another thing I wanted to hit before we wrap up, this Tech G Sport FR grill. I've always wanted to get a Tech grill myself. I mean, these guys were kind of more or less the pioneers of the infrared grill. There's a lot. I mean, you've seen almost a bastardization of infrared insert units that are going into those POS grills that you get at the Lowe's or the Home Depots, which, at least in my estimation, aren't nearly the quality of the Tech infrared burner just because of the name involved. So when you're talking about Tech, you're talking about high temperature, high quality. What can you tell us about this grill?
Well, actually on that, every piece of infrared cooking equipment was invented by one guy, the guy who created Tech. His name's Bill Best. He actually licenses technology to Charbroil. That's where they get all their infrared from.
Really?
But, I mean, this guy's a genius. I mean, you just sit and talk to him, and just amazing. What they've done, several years ago, they came out with this. It's basically a ceramic glass surface.
Right.
That you have an infrared burner underneath. It's 100% infrared. And in their application of it, it works quite well because it's very high-quality components. But, the thing about infrared has always been super intense cooking, very high temperature. And people come back and say, it's great for steaks, but I don't want to cook fish on it. It's just too hot. What they've done with this version, and this is the first grill to use this new technology, is they took that same that same burner design, and they reconstructed, it underneath. This thing will actually hold a temperature of 200 degrees.
And
so
this is a portable unit.
200 to 800 degree range.
Is this a portable unit?
This is a small portable unit. You can get it on a mounting, but by the end of the year, all Tech grills will be using this new technology. And that's kind of what the innovation here is. Because now you've got an infrared grill that you can get very low temperature cooking on.
Hence the not burning of the fish anymore.
Right. I mean, you can cook pretty much anything on it.
Right. No.
And, because of the way this design works, you throw wood chips directly onto the grill. It combusts them right where they are. You've got smoke production. I really haven't had the opportunity to try one of these out to see, how close you can get to kind of barbecue with it. But this is the most versatile infrared technology so far developed.
I mean, is this an attempt to move more units in total?
Well, yeah, I think that it's an attempt to really address that fundamental issue. It was always about, and in gas grills for a long time, it was always about who's hotter, who has more BTUs, who puts out more power. And a lot of people came back and said, yeah, but I want to cook vegetables, I want to cook other things, and I need versatility. And so this really is to address that and to keep Tech kind of at the forefront of the technology.
That's right. So we're going to wrap up here for tonight. We got a couple more things to cover next month, and then, of course, whatever else shows up on your doorstep that we can talk about that'll be cool. This is Derek Rich's bbq.about.com is his website. Obviously, reviewing stuff for about.com. Derek, always appreciate the time, and we will talk to you again next month.
That's great to be on. Look forward to it.
All right. Thanks, Derek.
Bye.
Derek Rich's about.com. He... I still think he's probably got one of the best jobs ever, just for my money. And the guy gets to review really cool stuff, and I can't imagine he's paying out of pocket a lot for that. Man, talk about, right place at the right time. Low those many years ago. Again, we're at Mixed Pub and Grill, in case you're wondering what the background noise is. And thanks to Kevin, Seamus McPatrick for letting me jump in tonight. We're going to quickly go over to the host of the show that comes up after me. That's Laura Nickerson. It's Broad Topics coming up at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific. Laura, how are you tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm here at Mixed Pub and Grill here in historic Willoughby, Ohio. That's the background noise that you hear.
Wow, what a party it sounds like.
Yeah, why not? It's a bar. The Cavs are playing. You know who the Cavs are, right? They're an NBA team. That's basketball.
Sure.
Are you in a parking garage or something?
I'm in the hallway.
You've been
I'm trying
banished.
to be discreet. Hallway. How about that? I'll go outside.
There you go.
There we go. That's better.
All right. So what's happening on the show tonight?
Tonight, our youngest host turned 30 this week.
And who's that?
So we are celebrating being in your 30s. That's our show tonight.
Celebrating being in your 30s. So in your estimation, what's so great about that? Or what's not so great about that?
Okay, here's what I think is great about it.
All right.
Generally, you kind of gotten more even-keeled. Your life is less dramatic. You usually are on some kind of a job and family path.
Right.
So that's generally good. The bad thing involves 5 to 10 pounds, wrinkles, and not being in your 20s.
5 to 10 pounds. What are you talking about?
Yeah, so I know you haven't gotten there yet, but if you were to get into your 30s, Greg.
Whoa. I'm 34 going on 35.
Are you really?
Yeah.
So, you're admitting that. Good, because I'm still holding on to 20s as if I'm there.
Yeah, I don't care. I got, I got 3 baby girls. I got a very hot and attractive wife that's 34.
Yeah.
So, life is good. I still have the mental capacity of somewhere right around 9, I think.
Do you still play video games?
I've never been a big video game guy, but I do like to pinch people and then or poke them on the opposite shoulder that I'm on and then pretend like I didn't do that.
Yeah, I don't know if that's young. I think that's just dorky.
Yeah, that's pretty much me. Thank you very much. I'm glad we've ironed that out. So it's all about your years, the decade, the 30s, coming up here on Broad Topics. And, of course, this is host Laura Nickerson, so tune in for that, Laura. I always appreciate the time.
Thank you very much.
All right,
have
take
a good
care.
show.
You too. Thanks. It's Laura Nickerson. Broad Topics. Hey, before I go, quick reminder about Yoder's Smoky Mountain Barbecue. These guys, leading online distributor of Meadow Creek barbecue equipment. These barbecue smokers, pig roasters, chicken cookers, and grills are handcrafted in the Amish country of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and their goal is to give you outstanding value for the price and help you enjoy easy and profitable barbecues. For years to come, they also carry a complete line of wonderful sauces and rubs. Check them out right now. Serious BBQs, that's BBQS, SeriousBBQs.com. Laverne Gingrich, we've had him on the show before. A great guy, and he is the online distributor of Meadow Creek barbecue equipment. So there you go. Right? I'm going to wrap it up real quick. Here we go. I'm going to thank my guest, Joe Blumenstein, second segment, joebees.com, joebees, BEES.com. 6 months. Get your 7-month free and free shipping if you order that amount. So check that out. Looking for a team sponsor, by the way, in case you did miss that. If you're listening to this in podcast fashion, hit me up. I might make the introduction if I get a cut. Thanks to Derek Riches, as always, coming on for his monthly segment, talking about the Bubba Keg, talking about the Tech Infrared Grill that now has a wide, sweeping array of temperatures, 800 to 200 degrees. And thanks to Laura Nickerson. And she's coming up after me at 10 o'clock, 7 Pacific. Broad Topics, talking about life in your 30s. What's good? What's good with life in your 30s? Hey, 30s. Hey, 30s. Hey. All right. Next week's show, Susan Rigetti of Susie Q's Seasoning. Dad, relax. I'm not talking about Mom. Susie Q's Seasoning. It's all about Santa Maria-style barbecue next week. And until then, I will see you back here next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Barbecue Central Show. Thanks again to Kevin and the brothers here at Mix Pub in historic Willoughby, Ohio. I got to get out. I'm late. I'm a proud U.S. American. And good night now.
Forget going from site to site to get all your barbecue and grilling supplies and make your first and final stop at fredsmusicandbarbecue.com. In the market for a new barbecue pit, we have all the big name brands like Big Green Egg and more. As a matter of fact, Fred's is staffed by eggheads and carries all the parts and accessories for the Big Green Egg. More of a pellet head, you say? Fred's is the pellet grill superstore with grills in stock from Traeger, Green Mountain, and Country Smokers from Louisiana Grills. Fred also carries smokers from Cook Shack, Bradley, and Weber as well as a full lineup of charcoal grills. And once you're outfitted with your new smoker or grill, you'll find absolutely everything you need to make your barbecue or grilling experience a success. Fred is also the creator and distributor of Tasty Licks barbecue products, including their great line of rubs, spices, and sauces. You gotta try them. You can also get your hands on a full lineup of marinades, accessories, lump charcoal, wood chips, pellets, chunks, and even the great grilling tools from Stephen Reichland of Barbecue U fame. Check Fred out on the web at fredsmusicandbbq.com or check out their fully stocked showroom in beautiful Shillington, PA.
Barbecue has never been easier with the Barbecue Guru. The Barbecue Guru is a temperature control and monitor for all pits, charcoal, wood, electric, your pit. It easily attaches to any smoker or pit and gives you simple, trouble-free control of your temperatures, so you can make championship quality barbecue every time and all the time. And it's location-free. Take it anywhere. This amazing breakthrough in barbecue technology is a microprocessor-controlled draft system that uses temperature monitors and a small fan to keep your temperatures constant. The stainless steel Guru Pit Minder gives you a choice of controls from 90 to 370 degrees. So cold smoking, pepper drying, making cheese or jerky, or fabulous briskets and ribs is nothing short of effortless. The Procom 4 lets you monitor your pit from up to 600 feet away. And there's more. Check out the full line of products and accessories for the future of barbecue with new items on the way. Visit thebarbecueguru.com. That's www.thebbqguru.com. Or call 1-800-288-GURU.